Yes. So today we will start with this new chapter. Let's call different types of materials. Now we see a various different types of substances around us. They are all made up of some different materials, right? And they all differ from each other. Like they are all different from each other. They are different in some are different color, they have different feature, different shape, different texture, etc. Some objects are made up of different materials like plastic, paper, wood, iron, copper, steel, etc., while others are made of same material like brass, tumbler, pebble, katori, pulp, window pane, glass bangles, etc. Okay, because these which are made up of the same material. Can you look at this and tell me what material they are made up of? Look at these things. Glass tumbler, pebble, katori, bulb, window pane, glass bangles. Can you identify the material which is being used in all of them? It's glass. Okay, glass. Glass is the material which is being used in, if you've seen glass bowls, okay, that is here. And the bulb is also glass, window panes are also made up of glass, glass bangles, some glass pebbles are also there. Okay, so all of this is made up of the same material. Then this means that on one hand, some objects are made of different types of materials. On the other hand, many items could be made of a single material. It shows that specific material is needed to make a certain object. Okay? To make a specific object, a specific kind of material is needed. To make sure which material is suitable for what kind of work, we must study the different properties of material. Okay, and in this chapter we will study about different materials and their properties. Okay, so let's move forward. Now this is the states of a material. Okay, like what state it is in. All right. So this is an activity of ice that turns to water. When it is boiled, it turns to steam and it evaporates. Okay, so these are states. Okay, this is solid state. Ice is known as solid state of water. Okay, then this is known as liquid state, and this is known as gaseous state. Okay, gaseous state. So this is ice is the water state, water itself is in liquid state, and steam is in gaseous state. Okay, then different types of material. They can also be classified in state of its state according to their solubility and insolubility. Now, what's soluble and insoluble material? Now, we know that salt and sugar dissolve in water easily, but substances like stone, sawdust, and soil do not dissolve in water. Materials that get dissolved in water are called soluble, whereas materials that do not get dissolved
And
in
the water
water
is
are,
called solvent. I already know that
yes, very good, Sunil. Water is known as solvent. Okay, and
because it is a
suppose,
substance that gets dissolved in it. And also, if you
yes,
try dissolving a liquid also with solvent, it is either soluble or insoluble.
yes, it's either soluble or insoluble. You can try this little experiment at home. Take a water, okay, in a bowl or something, and take 1 spoon oil, okay, and put it in the water. Okay, what will happen? that the oil will float on the water. Okay, it will form like in a drop shape, like it will float on the water. You will see that oil, yellow color oil floating on the water. Okay, because it is like insoluble. But if you take sugar and mix it nicely, it will dissolve, salt will dissolve. Okay, but some substances which do not dissolve in water are known as insoluble substances. Because water is dissolving them, water is known as solute. Okay, yes,
Ma'am,
Ananya.
the material in which you're in which you're so okay if
Solvent.
you're dissolving the material, it's called a solvent, and the thing that you're using to
Solvent.
dissolve it, like for example, if you're dissolving sugar in water, the water is a solvent, and I also know that the sugar is called the solute.
Solute. Sugar is known as solute, and the thing in which you are dissolving water is known as solvent. Okay, right. So let's see whether the liquid substances also dissolve in water. Lemon juice gets completely mixed in water, but if we pour mustard oil in water, then it makes a separate layer on the upper surface of the water. This means that some liquids dissolve in water, whereas others not. Okay, you can try this out and see which are soluble and which are not. Okay, a large number of substances dissolve in water, that is why it's known as solvent. Mixture we get after dissolving a material in water is called solution. Okay, this is sugar, okay, then this is water, okay, and then this is sugar water. I'm naming it sugar water. Okay, so when I am adding sugar to water, this is my solute. Okay, this is known as solvent, and what we get after they are mixed together is known as solution. Okay, this is known as solution. All right. We're adding solute to the solvent. After it's mixed in the solvent, it becomes a solution. Okay. Now, you may be curious to know whether gases also dissolve in water or not. Like solids and liquids, some gases are soluble in water, whereas others are not. Okay. Some gases can be dissolved in water, but other gases cannot be dissolved in water. Usually, some gases dissolve in water in small quantity. For example, oxygen gas dissolved in water is very important for the survival of animals and plants that live in water. Okay, oxygen is dissolved in water, but some gases are not. Okay, so then materials that float or sink in water. Okay, then there are materials which sink in water. These are the materials which have sunk in the water. These are the floating materials. Okay, which are very lightweight. The materials which are very lightweight, okay, they usually float in water. Materials which are heavy, when we put them in water, they go at the bottom and bottom surface and they sink. Okay, they rest there beneath the surface of the water. Okay, such as stone, coin, okay, some metal objects, they usually sink, and some very light objects such as leaf, etc., which are very lightweight, they float on the surface of the water. Yes, Abraham.
Ma'am, the materials that float in the water are different. Like some heavy materials also float on the water. Like ships are heavy, but they float on the water because of their shape, right, ma'am?
What is
Yeah,
having ships? Yes.
it's
Yes,
based
Simran.
on the shape, and that type of shape is called buoyant.
Buoyancy. Ma'am, if I like take this competition and empty all of it, it's messy. But if I store air in it and put it on the in a bucket of water, it float, right, ma'am?
If you empty it and then open it and then put it in the water, it will float. You're asking?
Yes, ma'am. It's because of buoyancy, right? So if the weight
I
is a
think so.
lot,
It will float. I think it will float because of buoyancy. Okay. Yes. What you were saying?
ma'am, is because so if there's so ma'am, if, so the object shape has to be changed, right?
It depends on a shape. Yes, definitely. And the ships are designed, ships and boats, they have a particular kind of shape. They are designed in such a way that keeps them afloat on the surface of the water. Okay, they are designed in a way that keeps them afloat. It's because of buoyancy, it's because of their shape and their design. Okay, it has a lot to do with it. With weight, it has to do with the shape also, with the design also. Okay, then we have this is based on the visibility. Okay, or transparency, you can say. We have transparent, translucent, and opaque materials. What are transparent, translucent, and opaque materials? Transparent are materials through which you can completely see from one side to the other, like a glass panel. Okay, so from if I like take a glass right here, so through the glass I'll be able to see on the other side also. Okay, that's when you're completely able to see on the other side, that is known as transparent. Okay, what's translucent? When it is not as clearly visible, still visible, but not that clearly. Okay, little blur. That is known as translucent. If you've seen some panels, okay, some panels are there which are with which you can see but not very clearly. That is translucent. What is opaque? Opaque materials are those from which you cannot see at all from one side to the another, like wood. Let's take wood. If I take a wood plane right here and place it in front of my face, I cannot see behind it because it is opaque, means it's not transparent, it's not translucent. This is opaque, Abraham. Your box is opaque. You wanna ask something, anyone? No? Okay. Let's give this a read. When you look through a glass window while sitting in a bus, you are able to see things outside clearly. You might also have seen some materials kept in plastic container in a grocery shop. Those substances or materials through which things can be seen are called transparent. Glass, water, and plastic are examples of transparent material. On the other hand, there are some materials through which object can be seen but not clearly. Example, a tracing paper. If you spread some oil on the sheet of paper and look through it, then you will not be able to see things clearly. The materials through which objects can be seen but not clearly are known as translucent. On the contrary, there are some materials through which you are not able to see are called opaque. Wood, cardboard, iron, etc. are all examples of opaque materials. Okay. So, Cindy, can you want to give an example of any opaque material?
Sorry, I couldn't really hear the last part. Can you just give me 1 minute?
Sure. If you can share an example of an opaque material.
What did you say?
Example of and opaque material.
Okay. Opaque is something that you cannot see through, but transparent is something that you can see through clearly. Translucent is something that you can kind of see through, but not clearly. So opaque material could be stone
Mm-hmm.
or wood or glass. No, not glass. Paper.
Okay, good. And can you give an example of any translucent material?
Um, Maybe sometimes, have you seen any stained windows or stained glass? Like glass that has depictions on it. So that you
Mm-hmm.
can sometimes see through it, but it'll be like very blurry. Translucent material is basically like things you can see through, but it's not clear. It can be blurry. It's very rather blurry. You can just barely make out what's on the other side, but you can't see anything like proper details from the other side. Like stained glass, then like if your fingernails sometimes are clean and you can see through them, then even paper, like if you put paper paper you can like sometimes see through it, like very clear paper, very thin and clear paper.
Yes, very thin clear paper. That's also sometimes translucent. Very good, Anaya. Well explained. Um, can Abraham give an example of a transparent material?
Yes, ma'am. So transparent materials are like materials that you can see through. Like if you like a window, you can see through a window to see the other side. So such materials are called transparent materials. An example of a transparent material is glasses. If you could see through them,
I can see through it.
then then another is a window. You can see through them. Sometimes the rulers you even get are transparent, so that when you put them on the book, you can see what you're underlining.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And and also the screen guard of your phone or your tablet is also transparent, so that it, so that if it is translucent, you will not be able to see through it clearly what is on the screen, and if it is opaque, you will not be able to see the screen at all. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, good, very good. Very good, Simeon and Abraham. Well explained. This is transparent, the first image. Then the second one is we are able to see her slightly visible. This is translucent. Then this one is we cannot see her at all. The face is totally invisible. This is opaque. Okay. Then then we have materials are also classified on the basis of um, if it's a hard material or a soft material. Okay, you may have some experiences from your daily life. Like when you press some materials with your hands, they cannot be compressed easily. For example, key, piece of wood, thali, etc. But there are some materials that can be compressed easily. For example, paper, cotton, sponge, etc. Materials which can be compressed easily are called soft, while some other materials which are difficult to compress are called hard. Okay, hard materials are often rigid. We cannot like compress them. Okay, they have a particular solid shape. They are hard, but some materials are soft. You can like compress like a pillow, like cotton. Okay, like sponge. So those are soft materials. Then we have index question 6.1. You can try them. Then we have mixtures. Okay. When different types of materials are combined together, they are called mixture. Okay. They are called the mixture. For example, tea. If I talk about tea, is a mixture of sugar, milk, water, tea leaves. Tea leaves. Does anyone of you make tea at home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what do you put in it?
Tea
What?
powder.
Water, sugar, milk, ginger, um, tea leaves, in Hindi we call it chai patti, and peppercorns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's it.
Okay. What did you say, Indian? You said something, no?
Yeah, I said that by mistake.
Okay, by mistake. All right. So we also
Ma'am,
put
I just put
elaichi.
the you just put the tea bag, right, ma'am?
Elaichi powder also we use. Okay, or elaichi we use ginger or elaichi pepper. We don't use the tea bag. Yeah, we can use the tea bag sometimes, but we can also directly put the tea leaves inside it. Okay,
It gives better taste.
better taste. Yes, it gives better taste. Okay, so now tea is a mixture of so many things. Okay, sugar, milk, water, tea leaves, ginger, or pepper, or elaichi. So all this is known as mixture. So that is why tea is known as mixture.
Ma'am, it's a
Okay,
homogeneous
because
mixture, right?
it's a homogeneous mixture. Yes,
A
that is
mixture of
why.
things that you cannot see, like make out once it's.
Yes, you cannot. Right, you cannot make out. You can just make out the tea leaves and the ginger or elaichi. You cannot make out the sugar, the milk, the water. That you cannot
You
make
can
out.
make up the sugar. You can make up the sugar.
No, you can't, Abraham. It dissolves in hot tea.
And once it's strained, you can't make out anything.
Ma'am, you
Yes.
can, ma'am, because you can sense how much sugar the person has used by seeing the taste of the tea.
You can tell that by like tasting the tea, but in actually you cannot visibly see it. Like it's not visible. Sugar is not visible floating on the tea, right? Because it gets dissolved. So you can tell how much the person has put it by tasting, but you cannot see it actually in the tea because it's hot tea and it gets dissolved in the hot tea. Okay, so then we have separation of materials. Okay, like um, suppose when we are when a person collects this thing, when a person collects the harvest from a field, okay, that time there is a lot of like if he's collecting a harvest, there will come a lot of little wooden planks or little things in your crop. Okay, there will be some leaves, some unwanted things in the crop, some small particle might also come. Okay, so now from the in the original crop, okay, so it needs separation. Okay, we need to separate the original thing, the original crop or the plant from all of it. Okay, so for that, various methods are used, like for separating things basically. Methods are used such as hand picking, then there is threshing, Okay, then winnowing. This is winnowing. This is when the very light substances are there, they flow with the air, they disperse with the air, and the main thing that we need, it falls down. Okay, so then we have sieving that we do with tea. Okay, to separate the tea from tea leaves. Okay, and sieving is done. Cement also, if you guys have seen, well, construction of houses, they have this structure made up of like wood, and then they put cement, and then it falls from the other side. So they also do this with the sand and mud mixture to separate the fine sand from the stones, small pebbles. Okay, so this is there when we are using when we are like seeding the flour when before cooking, while making before making chapati. That time also they use a sieve to sieve the flour. Okay, and these are all the methods. Then there is sedimentation, decantation, and filtration. Okay, to separate the solutions, things. The solutions, there is evaporation. That's it. So we are going to study all of them, all of these methods of separation of material in detail from the next class. Okay. Today's homework is finish up this exercise 6.1. Okay, finish up 6.1, and maths test is there at 4 right now. Okay, 15 minutes is the recap time. Go through the chapter, and then right at 4 p.m. I'm going to share the paper with you.
At 4 what, ma'am? 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, yes. 4 o'clock. Okay.
Ma'am, how many
Is there
minutes
any
is the time limit?
time limit? 1.5 hours. Okay. Hope it's okay, like, because it's like basic questions are there, like not a lot of lengthy questions are not there. No lengthy questions are there in this chapter, so that is why.
Is it an easy chapter? Is it an easy test?
It's an easy chapter, so I think the test should be easy because it was a simple chapter. So that's why maximum it should be completed within 2 hours, okay? Maximum. The time limit for it is 1.5 hours. Maximum it should be completed within 2 hours. All right. So we'll wind up the class right here, and I'm going to share the paper with you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. See you
Ma'am,
all
what about
tomorrow.
science
Okay.
test?
Ma'am,
Math, science,
yeah,
Science
you
science
haven't
test,
test
sent the
ma'am.
science test.
probably by today. I'll share it. Okay. Most probably by today evening, I'll send it. I'll check it out. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay then. Any more questions?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay. Okay. Okay, then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. All the
Bye,
best.
ma'am.